Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem, Shalom, Shem, Kakadash, and Shalom to hopeful elect out there. I'm going to make this short and try to be to the point. Anyway, today's topic is entitled Corrective Grape. Corrective Grape. What does it mean? Corrective grape, also called curative grape, as well as homophobic grape, is a hate crime in which one or more people are raped because of their perceived sexual orientation, such as homosexuality or bisexuality. The common intended consequence of the grape, as claimed by the predator, is to turn the person heterosexual. The term corrective grape was coined in South Africa. This is big in Africa. It's pretty much damn near accepted in Africa, which has its roots going back to the scriptures, where we've been talking about. What does it say in what is that, Romans 2? Somebody give me the verse. I believe the verse is like 16. I'm not going to go to it. It speaks about they being without the law are become a law unto themselves, meaning an Israelite knows to do certain things that goes back to the law. Not everything, but a lot of things. Jake just naturally, like Jake knows it's wrong to kill somebody. Now, Esau doesn't know that. Esau killed somebody, and I don't give a shit. So this is why Jake covers it up. Now, Esau covers it up only because he doesn't want to get caught. He doesn't want to face the, lethal injection or face a whole lot of years in the prison system. Police, I would say all Edomite police do it because they get off on killing Jake. They want to kill Jake, and it's not in their spirit to say, well, I can't murder this, I can't kill this person. That's murder. Because Esau is not built to learn these laws. He's going to be built to learn these laws in the kingdom because he's going to get a foot in his ass, a constant foot in his ass to keep those laws. But anyway, he'll be occupied anyway. He ain't going to have much to do but to keep the laws. He's going to work his ass off, him and his woman and his children, and we're going to throw them in their huts or their pits for them to sleep. We're going to throw some food in there, and they're going to eat, and they're going to just sleep, and they're going to get up and work again. And on the Sabbath day, they're going to honor the Sabbath. They're going to be watched. They're going to keep that law because it's going to be forced on them. And I'm using E and the other nations as well, because you definitely going into captivity. You definitely you definitely have to pay for what you did to not just to any people out there, but to the Israelites, the people that you took over. Oh, and by the way, most Eskimos, if not all of them, are Israelites. They're Gadites. I want you to go to, there's a hip hop group, gangster hip hop. Either it's a one individual or this whole crew, but they're rappers in Alaska. And you can see that they look like Gadites. They look like Gadites, Issachar, Ephraim, Manasseh. They look like the Latin tribes. They look like Gad. And the name of either the individual or the group is Young Igs, and uh, I believe that stands for igloos because I looked it up to try to get the information. They're not up there on Wikipedia. But you listen, like this cut right here, wrong one, official music video. You listen to them, you close your eyes, you say, hey, they ain't nothing but Jake. They ain't nothing but Jake. I remember years ago, I'm gonna get back to the main subject. I went to the Museum of Natural History. There's a section of the so-called Eskimos, and they all had, it was like, there was like what do you call that? When they make like a scene, but it's like dummies, and they actually had fringes on their garments. I don't know if that exhibit is still there, but you can go and check it out for yourself. So let me come back over here. Now you're gonna be surprised who mentioned this, where I got this term from. Okay, let me go right over here. The term corrective grape was coined in South Africa after well-known cases with an S, a corrective grapes of L women such as Udi Semelin, who was also murdered in the same. Oh, let me do this. It says I can't even pronounce it. Forgive me. Udi Semelin was a South African footballer, soccer player, female, who played for the South African national team and LGBT rights activist. She was raped and murdered in her hometown of uh, Quad Thema Springs. That's in South Africa. So there's a culture that they have. If you're on the other side, let's say, their thing is to bring you back to the right side or just kill you or both. Because that goes back to their spirit, their spirit, which they're Israelites. The majority of the people on the west coast of Africa are Israelites, including the South Africans. So it says people in countries across the world to come forward with their own stories of being raped as punishment for or in an attempt to change their sexual orientation or gender identity. Although some countries have laws protecting LGs, people corrective rape is often overlooked. So when you come down here, you got definition, you got contributing factors and motivations. Then you got the countries where you got prevalence. Let's look up prevalence. But you see, India is big in India. It's big in Jamaica. It's big in Kenya. which is East Africa, is big in Nigeria, and the majority of the people in Nigeria, most of the people in Nigeria are Israelites. South Africa, most of the people in South Africa, not necessarily all of them, are Israelites. Uganda, then there's cases in the United States and Zimbabwe. You notice how they mentioning the whole Jamaica and India, and then you got these African countries, mostly on the West Coast. You got Kenya is on the East Coast, so it's big. It's big in certain areas in certain countries in Africa. If they find out that you are, a Mo, there was one video on YouTube, or there's one. It was a man, an African man. I don't know if it's South Africa, but they found out he was a Mo, and they beat the shit out of him. And their intent was to beat him to death, and that's what they wound up doing. They beat the shit out of him. He fought. He got hit over the head. He got hit with rocks mostly. That goes back to Israel being stoned, and that's how they did it. When two men got together back in the ancient world in Israel under the laws, it was a public killing. You stoned them to death. That's why it said, "Let their blood." What does it say? Let their blood be on them. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to go to it. Somebody can put it in the description. In the comment section. But in this video that they took it down, I'm not even going to try to look for it. It could be on Rumble, or it could be on one of those other platforms. But they actually had a guy with a camera filming it, and a bunch of people was just throwing rocks at him, hitting him with sticks, just kicking him, beating him down, spitting on him. And there was a part of that video, it was like a 3-minute video. A police cruiser came by, it slowed down, and it just kept going. Because I guess they got the memo. They said, that's one of them. And when the man couldn't fight and he was unconscious, they took a tire and they put it over his head, and they burnt the tire and they burned him with it. So that was quick death. They don't play that. And why don't they play that? Because, like I said, the majority of them on the West Coast are, in fact, Israelites. The Nigerians that come to this country now, I work with them. I talk to them. They're straight up Jake. A lot of these entertainers, these actors that you see in Hollywood, these singers, a lot of them, their line goes directly back to West Africa, mainly Nigeria. Nas is straight up Nigerian. And you're going to be surprised where I got this from. I was watching the video, so I had to look it up. And that's why you have certain media people from the U.S. who'll go to Africa, and I've seen this happen a couple of times. They'll question the prime minister, the president, concerning, the LGB community, and basically they'll pretty much say, well, like one of them said, that's disgusting. They should be. He wouldn't say put to death, but he said being one of those is disgusting. So the consensus is over there in Africa, at least in West Africa, that they're not into alternate lifestyles. And then usually what happens is years later, they'll get him out and they'll get a more progressive president to take this guy's place. So they want to get out. They want to get rid of the rebels against. See, we're living in a global, what is called geopolitics. Geo meaning the world. like the whole planet. So it's no more, the president and this person. It's a world thing. That's why your news stations are. You always have an international part of the news. CNN has an international part of CNN, is CNN International. So let me come on down. Okay, corrective grape. And you'd be surprised where I got this from. This video that speaks about this subject. He's an Israelite. Corrective grape has been reported in countries across the world, including Ecuador. The people in Ecuador are Israelites. So if they see there's a girl that likes another girl and they look like they think they doing something, a man or a handful of men would just rape them and pretty much get them back flying straight again, or rape them and kill them. Haiti, Haiti. Why is it big in Haiti? Because they're the Levites, they're the priests, they were the lawgivers. India, Jamaica, Jamaica, that's Benjamin. Kenya, Kyrgyzstan, Kyrgyzstan, I guess it is. That's them, out there where Russia is in that region that's considered Eastern Europe. The Netherlands got a lot of Jake in the Netherlands. Nigeria, mostly Jake. I would say maybe 90% of the people in Nigeria are Jake. Peru will get you through. Peru. That's a Israel. This is proving two things. This is proving that they're the Israelites, man. What does it say in Romans the second chapter? It said the Gentiles being without law have are law unto themselves. I'm merely paraphrasing, meaning they're going to do things that's in the law. Naturally. Look, when I was like 8, 9 years old, I used to know that I used to slap the little girls in the ass. Me and my friends, we would chase after the little girls. We wouldn't chase after each other. We chase after the little girls. When we were, and they would laugh and giggle. Sometimes we catch them and grab them. And what I'm talking about when I'm 8, 9 years old, 10 years old. So Peru, South Africa, Thailand, and I believe a lot of, I don't know the percentage, but I believe that a large percentage of people in Thailand are Jakes, the Philippines as well, in those regions. And they call those people Negritos, which means little Negroes, because a lot of them are Israelites. Uganda in Africa. The Ukraine, the United Kingdom, United States, and Zimbabwe. Because remember, you had a lot of Israelites that took over Africa. So now let's look at some of these countries here. Well, let's try India. Children in India have been speaking out about how their parents are sanctioning their children's sexuality by using corrective rape therapy. So that's they call that a therapy. That's an actual therapy. If they feel that the girl is playing with the girls too much and they're getting too touchy feely, or two little boys are playing with each other, you corrected them. Mainly the women. It's the same as corrective grape. Corrective grape in India typically happens in order to protect the family's name. Yeah, because you don't want to have a happy person in your family. It's embarrassing. To avoid shaming from religious communities and to prevent uh, abnormal perceptions by the see in this country they're attempting to make it uh, accepted. What did Biden just do? He just passed a law protecting these people. This is Babylon the Great, and the Most High getting ready to set fire on this goddamn place. This is the great altar that the Most High set the prophets on to prophesy against. That's all America is. America is nothing but a large altar, 5,000 miles square. 5,000 miles square. So we out there teaching, and it's beginning to be a nuisance to them, but it's necessary because the Most High is going to bring us up. He's going to take away the priests, the prophets, which condemn this place. See what we're doing. We out there on the highways and the byways. We're doing a ritual. This is a ritual. This is a sacrificial ritual that's taking place. Because when you read Isaiah 34, it speaks about Esau or the Idumeans upon whom I have cursed forever. Merely paraphrase. You can go to it. But it says it speaks about a sacrificial part of it, and it speaks about bullocks and goats. So what is the Most High talking about? Is he talking about killing goats and bulls? No, he's talking about killing humans. Anybody that's left on this soil right here, America, if you ain't beamed up, especially if you took that charagma, guess what? You're going to be sacrificed with this man and these other nations. So the bullocks and the sheep and the goats that's going to be sacrificed, that's talking about the people, but you're going to have animal sacrifice too. So basically, this place is nothing but a getting ready to be a burnt sacrifice. This is a ritual thing. Part of the ritual, I'm going to say it again, is for the Most High to send down his holy men to condemn this place. Then he's going to pull the holy men out, and he's going to pull the woman out too. And then he's gonna perform the sacrifice by fire. And where's he gonna get the fire from? The missiles. You know, when you go to a barbecue or cookout, you put the coal, you put some newspaper or whatever under, and then you take that lighter thing, that stick, and you click it, and you light certain parts of it. You put some lighter fluid on it, and then you let it, and you got to wait until the coals turn white, and then it's nice and hot. Then you put your hand over it. Okay, yeah, it's ready to cook. You put the grill over it, and then you start grilling. So that's all the Most High gonna do. There's gonna be a cookout. Oh, I just thought about that, man. I ain't bugging either. I'm just laughing. That's a good topic for you, Apostle Rablob. You could call it the Most High's cookout. The Most High's glorious cookout. He gonna have that chef. He gonna have that chef hat on, and he gonna be turning that meat over, baby. Gonna put that seasoning on it. because that's exactly what this is. So how do you describe this place in a nutshell? This is nothing but a future cook. This is a future cookout. It's a cookout. It's a cookout. It says it says this wait, where am I? All right here. And the fact, okay, individual identities as homosexuals, this discomfort comes from the overall negative attitude towards Moism, and the fact is that individuals in India, because you got a lot of Jakes in India who identify as Moes, are victimized at a higher rate. There is also a high level of negativity towards the trans community, which, you know, this is accepted. This is more than accepted. They're trying to make it the norm. In India, religious comments, and this is what it meant. This is what is meant by Revelation. Was that Revelation 17? It represents how Revelation 18 as well. It represents fornication. That the nations have committed fornication with her, meaning accepting her lifestyle, her lifestyles. And part of her lifestyles is men could be with men, women could be with women. That was accepted in Rome. This is Rome all over again. And now you can go as far as changing your sex. So somebody read Second Peter's what is that 2 verse 6. Read Isaiah chapter 24. You can start the first verse. The key point is around the 4th, 5th verse, and then read the rest of the chapter. It goes into the cookout. Them are the cookout scriptures. It says also a high level of negativity towards the trans community in India. Religious communities tend to be very strong in traditional culture, and this is where much of the tension and poor perception came from. According to statistics from the crisis interventions team of the LG collective in Telangana, India, there have been 15 reported instances of corrective rape that have been reported in the last 5 years. In general, there has been a 902% increase, 902% increase in reported rapes in India from 1971 to 2012. However, it is estimated that 90% of sex crimes in the country go unreported because they frown upon that. So you got Jamaica, and Jamaica's like that, man. You know what I'm saying? They call them, them terms. I'm not going to use them terms. Bati, and so forth. So it says Amnesty International has Esau. Amnesty International has received reports of violence against Moism in Jamaica. Why? Because the Jamaicans, the ones that came over here from West Africa, those are Israelites. So that spirit is still on them. They know there's something not right with being or more, including rape and other forms of sexual violence. Les or Moes reportedly have been attacked on the grounds of mannish physical appearance, you know what that means, or other visible signs of sexuality. So, see, you can do this freely in this country because this is Babylon the Great. This is if you can't, hey, if none of you vocab, if you can't see that this is Babylon the Great, I don't know what to tell you. Visible signs of sexuality, some reports of abductions and rape come from inner city communities where Jake lives, the poor of these Benjaminites, where local non-governmental organizations, NGOs, have expressed concerns about high incidence of violence against women. When they say violence, it's talking about sexual violence, because they're going to get the sexual chocolate. In Kenya, perpetrators and apologists, perpetrators and apologists, excuse me, claim that rape is a method to straighten LG people. In Kenya, perpetrators and apologists claim that rape is a method to straighten LG people. So some of them get raped and they might not get killed. And it's in the hopes that if it's a woman, they have a feeling for men. Like I said, you're going to be surprised if I told you where I got this from. This video. It says in Nigeria. Now that's nothing but that's Jake right there. That's Jake land. Lesbians are the major victim of corrective rape. So what does it mean by corrective? Meaning to get you not necessarily kill you, because how are you going to correct them if you killed them? You rape them, and then they you knock some sense into their head, and then they're attracted to men, or vice versa. They said in Nigeria, lesbians are the major victims of corrective rape, and this has roots in patriarchy. To many Nigerians, because they're Israelites, Romans, the 2nd chapter, it is incomprehensible that women may seek relationships with people other than men. Yeah, because it don't make no sense to them. But in America, it makes all the sense in the world. This must be big in South Africa. Okay, it says right here, Soweto Pride 2012 participants remember 2 lesbians who were raped and murdered in 2007. They received justice, but not the justice that they wanted. Uganda, 5 cases in which the victims were, see, and it's mostly women. They'll take the man out, because this is about correcting them. 5 cases in which the victims were lesbians or transgender males were reported in Uganda between June and November of 2011. Zimbabwe, a U.S. State Department report on, here you got the U.S. representative reporting in another country, outside of their country. A U.S. State Department report in Zimbabwe states In response to social pressure, some families reportedly subjected their LG members to corrective rape and forced marriages to encourage heterosexual conduct. Such crimes. Now, see, what does the scripture say about that? Does it say to sit down and let them do what they want to do? It's a free country. Do you sit down and have a therapist? Is a high priest a therapist that he sit you down on, lay you down on the couch, and he got his leg crossed with a notepad? What is the origins of these feelings of yours? No, no. And like Mr. Sims said, do you rehabilitate them? No, you just kill them. That's from Tales of the Hood. Great movie. Such crimes were rarely reported to police. Very seldom do they report it because the people accept it. They said, no, that's a good thing. Maybe she'll get her act together. Women in particular were subject to rape by male family members. Well, that's going off. That's incest. Following the publication of an early report with similar wording, Zimbabwe journalist Angus Shaw said that the lesbian women are raped by men to make them enjoy the heterosexual acts, and gay men are raped by women to, well, get a bunch of women, they'll rape the men. Men are raped by women to remove their sexual orientation tendencies. So like I said, they're only doing what the scriptures is telling them what to do in the spirit. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.